Hello, everybody, and welcome out to episode 76 of the Pod of War Gamescast. You might have caught a bit of Chris Pengelly there. We're trying to stop him talking about derives for sale, but that is a conversation for another day. And as, of course, I am joined by Master Dash Chris Pengelly this week.
Hello, everyone.
And, of course, Mr. Xbox Live, CW Langster.
Hello.
Boys, it's another week. We've had some more Summer Games Fest. Obviously, we did our Xbox Showcase reactions last week, and I think it's been a pretty good week to be in games. So we're going to talk about it. Before we get to that, of course, we're going to talk our usual rigmarole. So let's start with you, big dog Craig Warren. What have you bought and what have you played this week?
So all I've played is more Hogwarts. I am now 18 hours in.
Hell yeah.
I think I'm about halfway. There's like 4 trial things you have to do. I've done 2 of them.
Oh yeah.
So mathematically, I'm halfway, right?
The maths don't lie, Craig.
And there's an achievement for doing all the side quests, and I'm like at 55% or something like that. So I've got to be about halfway, right? So that's all I played. Still good, still great shit. In terms of all I bought is the same pickup, which I think we're all going to have, and that is the Starfield controller.
It's a sexy bitch, isn't it?
Which is a thing of beauty.
It's a sexy, sexy bitch.
Might be the GOAT, I feel, for limited edition controllers.
I think it has to go toe-to-toe with the Sea of Thieves controller and potentially the 20th anniversary controller. I think they're the two.
Yeah, I know Special Nick from Xbox Era did a Twitter poll, and it was the Starfield one, the Sea of Thieves one, the old Titanfall one they did, which was really nice.
It was.
And there was another one. It might have been that Gears one that you've got, Dave.
Oh, my Red Gears one. The bite marks in it.
It might have been that. And the Starfield one was winning by miles. So it's a sexy boy. It's beautiful.
I was so close to buying the headset. If I hadn't just bought a new headset, I would have probably sold my Pulse headset and then bought that, but we'll resist it for now.
Yeah. It is something, I know I have a biased opinion on this, but I do think it's something that Xbox do miles better than anyone else.
Yeah, I think so.
Limited edition controllers.
Yeah.
I look at the competition on it, and they do look so bland and boring compared to Xbox.
Nintendo is surprisingly the worst, which is insane.
Considering
their pro
their
controllers
market of
are
people.
so boring.
Yeah.
So boring. They do obviously
the Joy-Cons.
Their Joy-Cons are better than their pro controllers, so I'll give you that. But their pro controllers are awful.
See, I would say it's the other way because the Joy-Cons are just normally just color, but at least the pro controllers have got they got the Monster Hunter ones, got some nice artwork.
Yeah, but it's just the same black shell with like That's
I
my
guess a little
problem.
bit of stuff from the top.
Yeah, could do a blue shell or something.
Yeah, for example, as a Mario and Luigi game comes out, there's a green one, a red one, But yeah, usually they're pretty good. But then the Wii U had literally no special edition Wii Pro controllers, did it? So
no.
Anyway, but yes, Krigo, what else? What have you played?
That's it. That's
just
Hogwarts.
it. Oh, what a concise week from Mr.
I know, right?
I'm sure that will change.
Of course.
But okay, well, let's get on to the big dog, Pengi. What have you bought and what have you played this week?
So on Xbox, I played nothing, but I also bought the Starfield controller.
Lovely.
Which does look pretty good. So when I do play something on Xbox, I will have that to use. So that on Switch, I played and finished Signalis to please Craig.
I'm glad you actually played it, since you bought it. You didn't need to. So that's sad.
Yeah. So I played and finished that on the Switch this week, which
you sold that now? Is it gone?
It is on the eBay. So you could buy that if you wish, anyone. There you go. So yeah, I talked about that quite a few weeks ago when I actually first bought it, and I played like 3 hours of it in a stint. It's classic survival horror. So when I say survival horror, you might be going, oh, like you, Craig, and obviously being on Game Pass, I believe, like, oh, I'll play that because you like Resident Evil and the Dead Space. Well, this is like proper classic like survival horror. So like,
I don't think you could sound any more pretentious if you tried that.
So you got some really obtuse like puzzles and stuff like that at the during the game and stuff, which It's completely not like action focused or anything like that. You can like avoid enemies totally, and that while you're trying to do all the puzzles and all that sort of thing. So it's more of a puzzle game. If I had to describe it to like you, Craig, like, oh, you're gonna play Signalis, you would get ready for some puzzles.
Indeed.
Horror, scary puzzles.
Scary puzzles.
Scary
Yeah, they are
Tetris.
scary, but yeah, not Tetris. It's more like
Oh, well.
you need to go get this key to go get the cassette, and then you got to get the cassette, which will give you like a frequency number. Use that frequency number to open the safe.
Sounds like a point-and-click adventure pen game, don't you think?
It sounds more like classic survival horror games to me, but
Okay.
yeah. So I played that. And on PlayStation, I have been playing more Street Fighter 6, which I'm surprising like 20 hours into the World Tour mode, because I have got the trophy for doing 22 side quests. I've got my rank up with Chun-Li to a level 100, so I've nearly got all the World Tour trophies. The only one I haven't got is the Finnish World Tour. So I've pretty much, if you go on how long to beat, total completion is like 40 hours. So I think there is more side quests and stuff like that. I think there's like 30 of them, and you got to do 22 to get the trophy and stuff like that. So yeah, just been playing more Street Fighter on the PlayStation. No pickups for PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in terms of retro, as you might have seen, there's a video on the channel I bought in our local game, because obviously they're closing down, and Evercade Versus.
I'm
Evercade
surprised they
lives.
even sell that in there.
Evercade's weird because it does actually sell really well. Like, it's a really strange thing.
Yeah,
But
because
it does.
the Team 17 cartridge just come out charted it was in the top 40. I don't know where it was, obviously in the 30s somewhere, but yeah, that even charted
Which is
in
very
the UK
strange.
chart.
But yeah, because they
Yeah.
sell it in. They were actually clever, Craig, and they actually put it to retail. So I think it's in Game, and I think it's in Argos, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so I picked that up, and I picked up some carts and stuff like that, and played a bit of that, and I've done a video on the channel of like fast, sort of like look at impressions of it. A bit of long video, so next one or whatever I do, I might just look at one cart, and so it's not an hour long, like more like 20, half an hour or something like that sort of thing. Yeah, but pretty neat little handheld console.
Lovely.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I played thing. I'm gonna play some this week as well before Final Fantasy 16 comes out.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else,
Oh
Pengles?
my Christ.
Yep, that's it.
Nothing on
So
Switch.
Fun?
Nothing on Switch.
No Switch games.
Nothing on PSVR2.
Nope.
Nothing on the 3DO.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, to move swiftly on from the PSVR2 and the 3DO. In terms of purchasing, I have also only bought the Starfield controller. Put a video on my TikTok, Craig, / my own YouTube channel. Did quite a lot of views actually, which is quite funny, in the thousands. So thank you for all those that caught that YouTube short. But yes, I have unboxed it. I love the thing. I'm not planning to use it until Starfield, because I do have my Remix controller I got not too long ago. I just use that, to be honest with you. But the Starfield controller is a lot nicer than that. It has the grip and the invisible triggers and the nice squishy buttons. And very excited for Starfield. I'm sure we're going to talk about it later, so we won't go into it. In terms of pre-orders, which I know we don't usually talk about, but I thought it was interesting, so I am going to talk about it. I have pre-ordered the physical edition of the Starfield upgrade that is available on Amazon. So I get the upgrade, the 5 days early shenanigans, as well as a steelbook, a patch, which they also did in the Redfall, and like a patch you put on like a jacket, I guess, and obviously the codes for extra shit. So yeah, I think it's a really interesting business idea for Microsoft to do that, and I'm glad that now they're on Amazon, not Game in the UK. So it's the same price as the upgrade. I think potentially without the like £3 off for having Game Pass, but yeah, I wanted a physical version of the game anyway, just because I quite like the sort of steel bookiness of it. But But yeah, the same price. I thought it was really interesting idea from Microsoft. So they get me again.
They haven't got one for motorsport, which is a little bit
Not yet,
disappointing.
but then so far the only ones I've seen have been the Bethesda ones. So
Hmm.
we'll see. I'd imagine they will. I mean, I'll get it. I'll get a digital thing for it anyway. So if they don't, then it's saving myself £2 from the steelbook I want. But yeah, I do enjoy that. In terms of played, so I've played absolutely nothing on Switch, but it is plugged in. I've played absolutely nothing on PlayStation, and it's not plugged in. Craigo, I don't own a 3DO, so I haven't played any.
Never did I remember. I sold
Oh,
mine to
you saw it.
buy
So I
my
haven't played any
PSVR.
Road Rage so far this week. I have played some more Steam Deck. I'm still plugging away at Vanquish. I did another two of the missions. They're fun because you do mission by mission, and I really enjoy that structure on a handheld. So I think I'm literally on like the last 3 missions. So a couple more nights, and it'll be done. I like doing like one mission when I'm doing something else. It's fun. Steam Deck still a wonderful piece of kit, and I'm looking forward to playing the next game on there. On the Xbox, though, I've played a lot of Xbox this week. So I'm on a bit of a backlog kick. I know I talk about this a couple times every year. I did a huge amount of backlog on PlayStation last year, like significantly boosted my completion percentage by going through all the games I'd started and just finishing some ones I've been meaning to get to. So I'm doing that at the minute on Xbox. The 2 main ones at the minute, I've played a very small amount of one. So we'll talk about the first, and that is Fable Anniversary. Because I've never finished the first Fable game in any way, not on the original Xbox or on the Anniversary Edition. The Anniversary Edition is supposed to be pretty good. So
Fable might be one of my, like, apart from the Halo and like classic games like Streets of Rage 2 and stuff, like one of my most finished games ever.
well, there you go. I mean, if even Chris McGally's finished it, then maybe I need to. But yeah, the Anniversary Edition is available. I own it, but I think it's on Game Pass. It still looks pretty good. I think it's had some boosts for the 360 game. But I'm playing through that, and so far, the bit that I did, I've played it before, so I'm continued my save because obviously Xbox is really good at that. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's really simple combat, but the story is really funny, and it's kind of getting me a bit more hyped for the new Fable. But the main game I've been playing, Craigo, is Psychonauts 2. I've finally returned to the wonderful world of Double Fine, considering that Psychonauts 1 is one of my favorite and most finished games. I dropped off Psychonaut 2 for some reason, but I have absolutely blasted through it this week. I think I've actually played 9 hours of it this week.
Nice.
But I'm not that far from the end, I don't think. Maybe
No.
like 60-70% through the game. I've got.
What's your favorite level so far? Because the level design in that game.
So my least favorite level is the one I've just done, which is the mailroom level.
Okay.
That level sucks. There's a lot of really annoying platforming in that level. Very frustrating. My favorite level, there's some really good ones. The cook-off is really fun.
The game show one, yeah.
That
that
one's really fun. I really enjoyed the Jack Black level I've just done.
I was going to say,
level.
Jack Black one was really good.
Have you done the bowling level yet?
Yeah, I did the bowling level. That's also pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, really fantastic game. Obviously, it's on Game Pass, so I'm gonna play it. But yeah, really enjoying it, and it's the first step on the backlog purge this year. I've got a lot of games installed from the backlog. I just went through it, and I think I've got 31 games installed. I've still got a terabyte of space, so the joy of getting that memory card is quite something. But yeah, I always forget on the series consoles that you can play 360 and Xbox One games pretty much all improved, because I just forget, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I own GTA 4, I own whatever, Lost Planet, like stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, there's quite a lot to be played here, isn't there? So yes, that is again, I think the only other very small thing, very very small amount I played some of the Exo Primal beta, because that's currently live. That game's fun as hell, so I'm really excited for that to come to Game Pass next month. But yes,
it's going to be game of the year. It's going to be the Pod War game of the year. I can see it.
For me and you, it's going to be up there. Obviously, I know we also played the tutorial for Minecraft Legends, but I had a horrendous migraine, so we had to stop, Craigo. But we will play. I was literally like, I thought I'd got rid of it in time for us to play, but like wearing a headset felt like that you put your hands either side of my head and were pushing in. Like it was so bad. I slept for like 12 hours.
Craig attending his great Carly.
Like it was one of those. Like honestly, I was like, I can't even see the screen right now. But yeah, we'll definitely return to that probably this week actually. And I really liked the 10 minutes we played. I thought the game looked pretty cute. So
Yeah, I think we're both at the point now where we can actually co-op as well, because we've both done tutorials.
Yeah,
so.
and me and you co-op everything. Plus, we're pretty good at RTS games now, so it's I think we'll waltz through this pretty quickly and be another one tick off. And then finally, you can help me, Craigo, get through Halo.
Oh yeah,
because I still need to get through Halo, but that's on the list as well.
They did also add co-op achievements, so for free you can get
There
some
you
of
go,
those
see.
as well.
did they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did not see that. That's awesome.
yeah. So all the achievements they added are from like the co-op stuff. There's none for the multiplayer because they have added a few new maps, and I think we're on season 4 just come out or something off the
Yeah.
thing. I guess they're gonna add trophies, achievements when they do like a proper map thing, like 10 new ones or something in one go. Maybe they do that.
God
Yeah, but
knows.
there's a load of co-op ones, and there's a few like non-co-op ones, like do certain level in a certain amount of time and all that sort of things as well.
Yeah, it's one of those games that again, it's much like Psychonauts. I don't really know why I haven't finished because I love every game in the series, but it just hasn't lined up for me. I think I was going through a lot at the time, if my memory serves me, when it did come out. So I don't think I was playing games much. Is what I'm trying to recall. I don't
Mm.
think. I think it was when I had just broken up with someone. So I literally don't think I was playing games. Yeah, looking at the achievements, Craig, I am correct. So yeah, I'll definitely jump on that. There's 144 achievements now worth 2,020 points. So they've added a fair bit. If they've added some co-op ones, that'd be nice for me and Craigo to do our usual shenanigans. I think we've done every other Halo game but Halo 2 because obviously there's obvious reasons why not.
Mm-hmm. Gunbags.
The suicide. But yes, that is what we've bought and played this week. So let's get on to our topic of the show. Tots. And that is, of course, Summer Games Fest. That's over now. I will probably end my own life if I have to sit here and talk about every single conference and every single game. So we're going to do our highlights shortly. We're going to very quickly go through some of the bigger events just for scores. We're not going to go through what was shown. We can have like a brief blurb of what we thought. But of the ones I know that we've watched, because I haven't watched, after the Xbox show, I watched Ubisoft and I watched Capcom. So if there's anything other than that, Pengels is your man, because I haven't watched anything other than that since. So let's
God, I
talk.
forgot that Capcom show even existed. I
Oh
was
yeah, be a
thinking
very
what I
that would
watched,
be a
and it
very
was that
quick one.
bad.
Very quick one for
Yeah.
us to talk about. In fact, let's talk about Capcom now. Craig, give your Capcom score.
Oh, it was awful. It was exactly what I thought it would be. Every year, Capcom is the best publisher, and they have the worst show because they show all their big stuff at everyone else's shows. Normally PlayStation, but a little bit of Xbox this year, which is nice. And this was bloody awful. 1 out of 5. Bang. Fuck you, Capcom. Don't bother next year. Don't bother, please. So I watch it again. We all make the same mistake. We all go, oh, they're going to show this, that. We all watch it, and it'll be shit again. So don't bother, please.
Yeah, so and so already been shown at Xbox or PlayStation. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Pengy.
But they did show a little bit of that Pragmata game, didn't they, actually?
Yeah.
And when I say a little bit, I mean a little
Like, we're
bit.
sorry we delayed it, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Pengy, out of 5, Capcom.
I've given it a 1.75.
Why? Okay.
Yeah.
And what earned the 0.75?
Because the games, if you like, the presentation was really bad, but some of the games like that, like Ghost Trick's supposed to be really good. Dragon's Dogma 2 looks good. Exo Primal does look fun, and it's one that you actually will play on Xbox being in Game Pass. It's like those 3 games out of like the 5-ish shown, and I know people.
Yeah, but it was just the same trailers that they showed at the other. Like the Dragon's Dogma one, they were just like, oh, yeah, we're going to show you the same trailer again that we've already shown you.
Yeah, and like I know people were excited for Phoenix Wright 4, 5, and 6, so it could be worse. It could have been worse.
Okay, well, it's a 1 out of 5 for me.
There is lots of worse. I have like 5
Okay.
worse than that.
We'll get to Pengy in a bit, but yeah, for me, Capcom is 1. Like the look of Exoprimal, like the look of Ghost Trick, like the look of Dragon's Dogma, and I like the look of the game that we cannot pronounce that's coming to Xbox Game Pass. But again, the presentation was all shown before, and it was a really badly sort of paced and show. It was just pans, wasn't it? It was just bad. So there we go. So moving on from that, the only other one I really want to talk about is Ubisoft. And Craig, Ubisoft Forward, what did you think?
So I thought what they showed was really good, but I thought the show was bloody awful. It was long. there was long periods of just people nattering on about crap. They seem to focus on like random things for way too long. I don't know. 2 out of 5.
Peggy.
I gave him a 2.5 out of 5 because what they showed looked good, but the presentation, like I think they jumped down kind of funny. It's like from like 2003. It's like in this little room with the screen behind the person and like talking, and they're all looking at the prompter and like use Guillemot even like called the Outlaws like the wrong name and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah. But when they did show Outlaws and stuff, it looked great.
Nice. I'm not as harsh as you two. I think it was a solid 3. The presentation didn't really bother me, but I don't know if it's just because I've watched shows like that before. And like I get him like saying Outlands or Outlaws. It's not his first language. Like I'm not really gonna hold the fact that he's French against him, which is unusual.
It's unlike you, Dave.
No, I
Yeah.
know, but it's unusual for me. I'm not gonna hold it against him. But I think other than the Skull and Bones being a song and a little bit of sort of like a little bit of dodgy presentation, but not enough to annoy me. I had no expectation, like 0 expectation of that show before this week, and then when we actually got to it, I'm kind of blown away by how many of their games I'm actually very excited for, and I'm like I said, it's done a job of being for me. I'm like, I'll get Ubisoft Plus a couple times in the next 12 months. Like, I won't buy the games for £70 because I can't live that way, but like. Yeah, I'm like, I'll get this, Assassin's Creed, I'll give you £15 for that month. Star Wars, I'll give you £15 for that month. Prince of Persia, I'll give you £15 for that month. The Crew Motorfest, I'll give you £15 for that month. Like, I was pretty impressed by what they showed, to be honest with you. Again, was I expecting Beyond Good and Evil 2? No, I'm not a fool. So, like, I can see why some people will be like, oh, well, they didn't show more of The Division, they didn't show this. I'm like, it's fine. What they showed, I was pretty happy to see, so I thought it was okay. But yes, I mean, now we're going to have to switch over to the Chris Pengelly show because I haven't got a clue what else was shown. So yeah, Pengy, fire away.
Well, including PlayStation, there was other ones in May. So unfortunately, I'm not including you, Humble Bumble. There was actually 21 showcases this like past week.
My God.
Like I said, PlayStation was in May, so you could say there was only 20. I watched 12 of them so just over half of the shows.
Okay. I want some quick fire names and scores, and I don't really want much more than that, Pengy.
So the worst are going from worst to best. So the worst is the PC gaming show, which I'm giving half, 0.5.
Wow.
It was absolutely dreadful. They were trying to like copy
Like
Devolver.
PC gaming, am I right?
No. Yeah, they were trying to copy like Devolver and stuff, and it just was so bad. Like, so anything that did look good, I was just like, my eyes were glazed over for how bad the presentation was. So pretty bad. Then above that is Guerrilla Collectives, which I'm giving a 1 because I watched it, but I cannot tell you a single thing that was shown there. Well, because it could be worse than the PC gaming show, I guess, because at least that was awful, and I can remember something that happened about it. But and then slightly above that is Devolver. The little
Devolvers was bad, actually. I forgot that was a thing. The actual show, like the comedy thing, was good, but they only showed like 3 games, and none of those 3 games were like games for us. It was very bad this year.
Yeah, well, they had the little documentary thing at the start was really good. I like that, and then when they did the like show bit, I thought like they liked the jokey stuff, and they did the AI, joke this one, and I just thought it was good. I don't know if like the jokes thing has run its course, and then like you said, they showed 4 games, and none of them I want to play, so. That's why
so they didn't even show the Plucky Squire, which like everyone's excited about. It's very, very strange show.
Then above that is RGG, which is the Yakuza, and the Like a Dragon devs. The only reason they're sort of this though, it was a very Japanese show. Obviously, it was all in Japanese with the English person talking over them. It was just them sat in chairs talking about the game when we saw the same trailers again. Like Infinite Wealth looks great from the trailer. That looks like a decent idea, like Ichiban going to another country and all that sort of thing. So from there, then above that is Grasshopper, because they sort of did the Devolver thing, but I actually found Grasshoppers kind of, funny, but they only shown sort of 1.5 games. They showed the damn remaster again. We had a proper sort of trailer for it this time, and then it showed Suda51 might play a game, and then they blanked it out quite quickly, sort of thing. And so that was a teaser of our new game. That was it. So that was Grasshopper. So it was a showcase for one game. Oh, and they announced a load of merch if you want some Grasshopper merch.
No.
Then above that's Capcom. We've already talked about that. Then I'm putting Xbox Extended above that.
Really? I thought Xbox Extended was better than PlayStation.
Then it's PlayStation.
Yeah, I was going to say PlayStation was bad.
Yeah. See, PlayStation is weird because I think the problem with PlayStation, we talked about it, we do it, is because it was called a showcase. If it's called State of Play, and we've gone,
I
State of
still
Play,
think it's
and
bad. For their one show for this 2 months, what did they show? They showed Spider-Man without a date.
Yeah.
Looks like Spider-Man. Looks no different to the other Spider-Man. What else did they show?
Helldivers 2, we got a new marathon. They show Street Fighter 6,
So-
Final Fantasy 16.
Final Fantasy
What,
Street Fighter
Peggy,
6.
you are
We
clutching at
Street
the
Fighter
straws
6 we
there,
knew
bud.
everything about, and they'd already done a
Yeah.
demo. So let's ignore that. Final Fantasy 16 we almost knew everything about. They didn't announce the demo. And Marathon they showed a CG cutscene and it's multiplat. And then they had all their other games with like they showed nothing. Like it's not. I'm not even trying to be like confrontational to you. Like genuinely, I own a PS5 and I sat there thinking, wow. So if I want to play Final Fantasy, I can. I have no idea if there's a demo because they hadn't announced it. I have no idea when Spider-Man's coming out.
I
And
don't
then
know what Marathon is because
Marathon,
it's just a random
absolutely right. So Marathon didn't look anything like Marathon. It was just literally. It might as well have been It might as well have been Destiny DLC. Like
You had to
that's
go
what
to
it
a
looked
blog
like.
post to get what it
Right,
was,
and
and they
again-
realised that it was shit.
Well, even that they just showed CG. They didn't show anything else, right? And then there were 3 other games they announced were CG. You had Foam Stars, which at least they showed gameplay. Like it was just a bad show. No matter what you call the name of the file, it was bad. For a first party, it's bad. It's pretty unforgivable. Like if that had been anyone else, I think more people would be absolutely running them through the coals. Because like imagine if Nintendo had been like, oh yeah, so here's 6 minutes of Pikmin. That's coming next month. Here's a CG trailer for some new IP that we're not going to tell you anything about. Oh, and we're bringing back. No, I don't even know what Nintendo could announce that would be less exciting than Marathon. I don't know. I feel like even Ice Climbers people would be excited about, wouldn't they? Here's Balloon Fight. There's a CG cutscene for a balloon fight, but it's a futuristic CG.
And it's going to be nothing like the original
There's
game.
going to be nothing like the original game, other than the fact it's a shit.
And you're going to have no context of what it actually is.
Right. And that's what I mean. Like again, like I'm not trying to be confrontational, not trying to be fanboy, but like they literally showed nothing. Like it was a waste of everyone's time. They might as well have not. It would have been better being a state of play. It would have been better than not having one. It would have been better just not doing one, because they just made themselves look stupid. But yeah, like I said, like PlayStation is dangerously close to being worse than Capcom for me. Dangerously close. The fact that Spider-Man looked like more Spider-Man kind of saved it, to be honest. But again, I don't know why they didn't show the date, and then they did it a week later. Like, who does that serve? Like, does it matter? They could have showed the same trailer at the Gamescast. They wouldn't have. But yeah, sorry. But yeah, PlayStation was terrible. I'm gonna keep saying it.
Well, I disagree. That's why it's here. So
You did give it like a 2 out of 5. Then.
yeah, I'm giving it 2 out of 5. This shows how bad the others are as well. I'm saying it's like the mid-table, and it just shows you how bad the others are. That like
It shows how bad it is. Let's be honest.
So let's flip this, Pengy, because obviously we haven't got all day to go through every 600 game.
I've only got 4 left.
Okay,
I've only got 4 left.
Quickly go through the form. We'll see what your top.
Ubisoft
3
is
are.
next.
Right, and what did you give that in the end?
2.5.
2.5. Okay.
Then it's Summer Game Fest.
Which you gave a 3.
Yep.
Okay.
Then it's Tribeca.
Which you gave
a 3.
Okay.
And then Xbox Showcase is top.
Which you gave
3.5.
Still think that's low, but I mean, at least the orders make sense. But yeah, lovely. I mean, I think it's pretty easy for me and Craig. Like for me, it goes Xbox at number 1, Ubisoft at number 2, Capcom at number 3, No, I think probably just PlayStation number 3, then Capcom number 4, but they were all pretty bad. Oh, Summer Games was 3. Sorry, I keep forgetting. There's so much crap. I mean, I would have included. To be honest, with you, if we're going to include everyone, the Warhammer one was better than PlayStation, so that'd be higher than
Saying
that.
I did watch the Warhammer one. I totally got that.
The Evercade one that they did, the 20-minute Evercade video, probably
Yeah, that
actually
was
has
one
more
of the
content
ones
than PlayStation.
that was one of the ones in May that I didn't count.
Yeah,
but if I didn't count PlayStation, you would all be like, "Where's PlayStation?" I was like, "Well, I've only done the
But I
June
suppose
ones."
it's better than Nintendo because at least they've done one, right? So by default, PlayStation did better than Nintendo.
They never do a show though, won't they? They just do it.
Yeah, they'll announce it 6 hours before it'll due, and it'll be
Mm.
the best thing you ever see because it's Nintendo. Is what they do. But okay, Pengy, you're making weird noises.
Yeah.
Done you.
Yeah.
But let's get to our 5 highlights.
Yes.
So that's the format I've given to
Would
the boys.
you like to know how you did on predictions though?
Well, go on then.
Yes.
Go on then, fire away.
So, Craigie, unfortunately, you came in last place, and I'm giving you 2 points.
At least you came, Craig.
Yeah.
Aha.
Because I'm giving you half a point for Hellblade 2 because it was shown, but it's not this year.
Right.
And I'm giving you half a point for Avowed, Open's Xbox show. It wasn't out. It didn't open, but it was dated for 2024.
Okay.
You got and you got a point for No Beyond Good and Evil. So that is your 2 points.
That's a solid score.
I can't remember what else I predicted, to be fair. So.
Then I was in second because I got a point for Skull and Bones will be shown, and I got a point for Beyond Good and Evil, and I gave myself 0.25 points for No Man's Sky and Apple VR.
Okay.
Because it's rumored. And then the winner is Dave with
That's
2.5.
Being the best at everything.
Because you got a half point because Ubisoft did show Star Wars. I only gave you half a point because you said it was going to be March 2024, and it's just March. And you got the point for Skull and Bones, and you got the point for Beyond Good and Evil 2.
As per usual.
So we
Ubisoft
did not
saving me.
So out of 15 predictions, we didn't get any, to be honest.
Wow, good. Well, at least it was fun.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah.
So, top 5 highlights, boys and girls. We're going to go in the order of me, Craigo, and Pengy. Because obviously Pengy's just done a lot of talking, so I need to let him brief. I want him to choke on his own words. So, for me, highlight number 1, and these are in no particular order. Number 5 for me is the obvious one. No, it's not. I'm joking. It's the Crew Motorfest. I was very, very, very pleased with what I saw of the Crew Motorfest. It looks like finally someone is copying Forza Horizon. I can't believe it's taken this long. I know elements of the crew will like it anyway, but this looks like a whole hog Ubisoft version of Forza Horizon. It looks pretty good. I watched some gameplay trailers after the fact. It looks pretty fun. So low-key quite excited for the Crew Motorfest. If Forza Motorsport doesn't hit the way I want it to hit, then at least I will get Ubisoft Plus for a month and jump on that. Craigo.
We'll stick with Ubisoft, Dave. And this is the real surprise hit for me. This might be like my most anticipated game for next year now. And that's the Star Wars Outlaws, is it called?
Mm-hmm.
This looks ridiculously good, boys. What the fuck happened? I was
expecting working on it. That's what
I was expecting like some Ubisoft nonsense of this, especially when it's like the Division team, because I couldn't really care less about the Division. But this looks bloody brilliant. This looks awesome. And like the CGI trailers they did at the Xbox show looked amazing. And then you're like, okay, they're going to show gameplay at their own show. We'll hold off judgment. And then they show gameplay, and you're like, that looks fucking great as well.
Who knew? Who knew it would be in a new era where Star Wars games are actually good?
Yeah. Well, I mean, EA are now good. Are Ubisoft now good as well? Is the world on split upside down? Who knows, boys? Who knows? But this looked amazing. Like I said, probably my most anticipated game next year. What a statement!
All right, this would be on there. Obviously, we're going to end this whole section with our game of the show, and that's definitely one that was I'd put up there. Pengy.
See, I've done a little bit different to you, but and I've
As
put mine in
per usual.
And I put mine in order.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep to my order. So I put like 5th indies. I think obviously with all these shows and stuff like that, where you get your wholesome directs and that, which I didn't watch live and watch trailers afterwards, but you get to see like some really cool indies. Like Cocoon was shown, that looks really good. It's one going to be coming onto Game Pass. Stray Gods I'm excited about. You got that Fall of Porcupine, and even on Xbox, you like Toussaint was shown, and Still Wakes the Deep, which is the horror game from the guys at the Chinese Room. We talked about that Dungeons of Hinterberg, so like really good for indies and stuff. Like a bunch of them will be coming to the Game Pass, bunch won't and stuff like that. But yeah, it's always good. Good to see indies.
A bit of a cop out, but we'll accept it for now.
Mhm.
My number 4 is the only PlayStation thing that is going to be on anyone's list potentially, and that is the trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The whole reason why my PS5 isn't on eBay, I think, at the moment. Game looks great. I want to play it. I want to know how they changed the story in this one. Yeah, it's good. The only shining light for me from PlayStation in this entire year so far. Great game.
I'll stick with Ubisoft again, boys. That Prince of Persia game looked pretty good, right?
Oh god, it really did.
Mm.
It looked
Really
like
did.
Metroid Dread, but Prince of Persia. It looked great. Hopefully, it controls better than Metroid Dread. I mean, tonally, it was a bit weird. The trailer was a bit all over the place, but the game looks phenomenal.
I think that is going to be the most for me and you. I think it's going to be the like, okay, Ubisoft Plus. Here's your chance. Like, here's your chance. We'd love a subscription. I'll pay £15.
Absolutely.
I'll pay £15.
And it's out in January, isn't it? Which is very, very
post
good.
Christmas.
Like
so like you're like, okay, yeah, really pleasantly surprised to see Prince of Persia return.
yeah, it looked great. The animations look really good. They showed some boss fights, which looked really, really fun. Compared to like they were going to do that remake of Sands of Time, which was bloody awful. And I think everyone's excitement for Prince of Persia was just like, nah, stop it. This looked great. This looked fantastic. I just opened the show for, was it Summer Game Fest?
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Christopher Penkeli,
Mm-hmm.
number 4.
Well, I put number 4, and kind of on those point, I put Uplay Plus because obviously it's been a thing.
It's definitely not called Uplay Plus. It's called Ubisoft Plus.
Is it called you? I
sure
thought it was called Uplay Plus. Okay. Well, it's been a thing for ages, but
I'm hoping Chris's number 3 is just like JRPG.
No, number 3 is Game Pass, and number 2 is PS Plus.
It's been a thing for ages, and I've not used it. I don't know if either of you actually.
I used the trial for the last week.
And then you've all go, oh, you're gonna have Ubisoft games in there day one, a bit like Game Pass, but like we've had no games Ubisoft. But after showing that they've had like, well, Crew's gonna be on there, Assassin's Creed's gonna be in there, Prince of Persia's gonna be in there, even that Star Wars game. It's like, well, I can pay 15 quid a month, and it looks like you're actually putting content on there that I want to play. So I think it was a great showing for that service.
Yeah, it's a really interesting model because it's multi-platform as well. So like you get it with Luna and you get it with PC and Xbox. If you get like it's just one big service. So it's like for £15 a month, like feasibly, you could quite comfortably play almost every game you want to play from them. To be honest with you, but it's like it's not going to be one of those services like Xbox where I keep it every month. But like there's going to be months like I said in October, like when I'm finally done with Starfield, and then we playing Forza, right? Like by then you'll have Assassin's Creed Mirage and the Crew Motorfest on there, and it's like, well, for a month, Assassin's Creed Mirage isn't going to take a month to finish. And then you've got the Crew Motorfest. If it's good, I'll get a second month. You know what I mean? And then by the time you've done that, it's January and Prince of Persia's here. And then suddenly we're like, well, we're absolutely going to get it for the Star Wars game. So it's like, and all of a sudden, if you've got a month in between, you're just like, well, I'll just keep it for a month, and you'll end up playing a Far Cry game you've missed, or the Avatar Far Cry game.
Avatar Far Cry, sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like they've been, like you said, like they have had no games, but now like I'm looking, I'm like, well, I was looking, like I was playing the trial, and I was like, oh, do I just play the Crew 2 all the way through? Like that's a hell of a lot of content. Like, oh, I haven't played the second South Park game, for example. I'm like, it's on there, right? So, but yeah, I think it's a really good. I think Ubisoft had a good show, and I think they did their services proud, for sure, Pengy. For sure, right? I suppose it's my number 3. It's Netflix games. No, I'm joking. It's really tough actually because I think I'm sort of obviously I've not written anything down because why would I, Craig? But as I go through the games, obviously I would have had Star Wars here at this point. Obviously, Craig's already talked about it. I think it's really very impressed by Star Wars Outlaws. Like a lot more pressed. And number 3, I'm gonna actually go for Avowed. Because seeing that game in actual sort of motion, I know people are like, oh, the art style is different. I'm like, it kind of looks like the art style for Outer Worlds, but it's Skyrim. And I'm like, I'm all for that. I think that looks really cool. And I think it just looks a little bit more interesting than the standard sort of Elder Scrolls fare to me. Like, I think the mechanics are quite interesting. The magic powers are quite interesting. And I'm really excited to jump into a big Obsidian RPG again next year. So I think I could have picked about 6 games from the just the Xbox showcase, but for now I think Avowed is definitely in there for me at number 3. Great game.
I'm gonna go with the Space Marine trailer that they showed.
Oh my god! Oh my
This
god!
looks-
That was going to be my number 2.
This looked like great shit, and it's co-op.
3-player
boys?
co-op. I can't wait
How
for
many?
Space
How
Marine.
many of their? So there's me, Dave. That's free. We all freaking play together.
All right.
Chris Pengelly could play a video game with us, Dave. What a world!
Yeah, we'd all have to be
I mean, he
options,
won't
which
because
is quite nice.
I wait and buy the Switch edition or some nonsense like that. But it could happen. It's a possibility, and that's exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting.
I will be buying it on Xbox most probably because of the multiplayer.
There you go.
Madness.
Yeah, look great. Look awesome.
But yes, sorry, who's that? It's Craig on it. Pengy.
So my next one, see, I've gone very different to you. So my next one, I've gone for Sega Atlas because Sega Atlas had a great showing across all the things. Yakuza Infinite Wealth, I talked about the trailer, was great for that. We're getting 2 new Personas, we're getting Metaphor, a new game from that team, and we had Sonic Superstars. And you can even throw in Total Warhammer, not Total Warhammer, Total War Pharaoh if you want to play a PC game. Great from Sega Atlas.
God, the cop-out answers so far, Pengy, have been...
Yeah, this is. I was not expecting this.
That's what happens when I don't give him rules. It's literally what happens. Like people don't get it. Like we have to like send him like 2-3 days in advance rules for lists because he will just do this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, most of that was at the Xbox show as well.
It was, which they have a really close partnership, don't they? Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've completely thrown me off here, Pengels, with your Pengelness. My number 2 is probably going to be Sonic Superstars or Persona 3 Reloaded. Again, to get Persona 3 Remake, I know it leaked, which is really frustrating, but to get it coming straight to Game Pass, like, my god. Like, it's honestly, like, this whole show has been the most, like, why have I still got my PS5? What is even the point? What is even the point of playing games that aren't in a service at this point? Because, like, Game Pass is fucking ridiculous, isn't it? But anyway, moving swiftly on. Number 2, it's actually really tough to pick because my number 1 is so obvious it hurts, to be honest with you. Like, it's my game of the show, and I'd be surprised if it's not all of our games of the show. But number 2, kind of a weird one, but I am going to do something unprecedented and stick with Ubisoft, Craig. I really do like the look of Assassin's Creed Mirage. I thought it was a good showing. I think the game looks like almost like a remake of the first game in terms of how it, like, the sort of the setting and the controls. I just thought it looked really good. Like, I haven't been this excited for an Assassin's Creed game in ages. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, the only problem this game has is it comes out in October and there's 6 million video games coming out in October now.
Yeah.
That's the only issue it has.
For me, though, it's like I said earlier, it's going to be my, it could well be my December Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah. Or I could see this being like a next year game, like a January.
Yeah, like again, like if we're gonna get Prince of Persia in January, so we're gonna get Ubisoft Plus anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really impressed by that. I mean, my honorable mentions could be 20 games, could be every game in the Xbox showcase, to be honest. But there you go. Craig, you're number 2.
I'll throw in. I won't just say Sega Atlas. I'll actually name a game, Dave. Say the Yakuza game that's set in America.
Yeah, Infinite.
Probably
a named country.
Yeah.
Like a Dragon 8.
Yeah. Probably if Star Wars Outlaws was my most anticipated game for next year, this probably would be. I really liked the last Like a Dragon. It was good. It was really good. So the idea of this set in America, just great shit. I think on Game Mess they were on about, they thought it was Hawaii. That sounds good to me. Sounds fine.
That would make sense in terms of locations.
Yeah, it make a lot of sense. The trailer was brilliant, very funny. Yeah, Yakuza. I know it's meant to be early next year. Right? I don't think the other day. I think it said early.
Yeah, early 2024.
Which sounds very good to me. So
Yeah, and obviously Persona 3 Reloaded is early 2024. I doubt Sega wants those two because they're obviously going to be kind of similar, and the audience are going to cross a bit. So I know February for
We have
one,
still
March for the
got
other, or something.
the other Yakuza game to come out, right? That still
Yeah,
hasn't got. Has that got a date yet?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
this year. Yeah,
This was this year. Okay, so we still got that.
Yeah.
They're going to put
this
games
is
out.
the one in between the two Yakuza games.
You're right.
Yeah, like
three,
days.
only 3 games come out in 12 months. What Chad?
Mm.
Pengy.
Yeah. So my number 2, and you thought they were all cop outs. Like I thought Xbox roadmap.
My God, Pengy. You
Yeah.
can't be stopped, can you?
We haven't had an actual video game from Chris Vangeli.
So yeah, for me after the show, I'm like, oh, Xbox are now gone. Like I got July to look forward to. I got Exo Primal, Starfield in September, Forza Motorsport, Persona 5 in Tactica in November. We know what games coming next year. Stuff like Persona 3 Reloaded, Avowed, Hellblade 2. And now knowing what in Exile and Compulsion are doing, like we now know what Xbox Studios are doing, and when games are coming from those studios as well.
Exciting. It's exciting times to be an Xbox fan, I think, to be honest.
Yes.
It's definitely of all the years, this is the most okay. Well, this is the future of Xbox. I'm happy to see it.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming, but people had to panic about Redfall, didn't they? But yeah, lovely stuff. I suppose to end mine, it's very obvious to me. My absolute game of the show. Never been more excited or anticipated for a game for what feels like a decade. And that is Starfield. I just think everything they showed looked unreal. Almost didn't look like a video game. Like a dream I'd had. But yeah, can't wait to play. I've never been this excited for a Bethesda game. They've never really been day one games for me. But this is, like I said, I've pre-ordered the premium upgrade edition. It's pre-installed on my console. I have the controller. Like I'm ready. I'm very much ready to lose everything to Starfield in September.
Yeah, it looked fantastic, didn't it?
Yeah, I just my God.
I can see this being like you start this in September and this you finish it in like December. Literally, like this is just the game you play for the
I
end
just
of the
think
year.
if it's one of those, if you finish it this year, I'm sure there's a way you can Pengels it and just do mainline story missions for 40 hours. But yeah, I mean, if it hits the way it looks, yeah, I mean, it could be the last 3 months of the year. Like the only dent in that time will be Forza because we will play Forza. But Forza is that, like as me and Craig constantly talk about, is that secondary racing game that we all have. You have to have a secondary racing game. So I think that's probably going to be that. But yeah, it doesn't ruin anything else. Anything else that was planning to come out this year, I'm like, okay. Like Spider-Man, I couldn't give less of a toss about now. I'm like, okay, I'll play that when it's 30 quid. It's just not gonna. It's not different enough, Whereas Starfield, I'm like, yep, cool, give it to me now. But yes, Craigo, your last highlight.
Right, so I'm really annoyed that Pengels copped out and said Xbox roadmap because I had 4 things and I was going to pick something from the Xbox show, and then I was like, oh, Pengels is copping out. I'm just going to end on Xbox in general. And he's already beat me to it, that rat bastard. So yeah, I will end on. I just thought the Xbox show was really good. I thought it was a really good show. I thought it was probably exceeded. I think everyone had high expectations for it, and I thought it exceeded that. I thought the first party stuff they showed was really good. I thought, if you went into that, we did our first little Xbox podcast, me and you, Dave, and we did those like yes or no's, and we were sat there like, well, if they show this, they won't show that. Well, they ain't going to show that, and then they showed pretty much most of it. In fairness to them, they actually showed Fable, Compulsion's game, In an Exile, Avowed, Hellblade, Starfield, bloody Forza. They showed it all.
Yeah, it was, and then obviously I know it was disappointing that the Persona stuff leaked, but having 2 brand new Persona games launching day one,
having 5 bloody Japanese games being announced from like major Japanese publishers, like not just like in the past, it's been like right, we get to the Xbox show. And it'd be like, right, they're going to port, Kuni or something, which is great. Of course it is. But as Chris Pengello said, well, it's old games being old. Like this was like,
yeah, it's true. Like having that Capcom game,
like, it was
the 2 Persona games. Like
Great shit.
You kind of what you like, like Lies of P has been one that's shown as Korean, I know, but like you are kind of starting to look now, and you're like, well, what is the last piece then? So like, I don't never want to turn this into like fanboyism, but like, it's been thrown at Xbox for the last 20 years that they don't have Japanese games. They have Japanese games. They don't have first party games. Well, they clearly have first party games now. So like, what is the last step? Like, they don't have their third person action game, movie game, right? That's like the last thing now. So once that is, once one of those games is that, and if I personally don't give a toss. I think
they
third parties do that.
They don't have that. But also, I like this. Going to sound like thing like they don't have that and aren't copying PlayStation that they have. Like they look like they're going all in with RPGs because the Starfield Avowed Fable will be RPGs. PlayStation doesn't have that. And then like Nintendo, this is obviously someone that owns all three systems, and like Nintendo has Mario and Pokemon is an RPG, but it has like the platformers and stuff like that. Where PlayStation and Xbox don't have. But if they all did third person action adventure cinematic game, then it would be pretty boring.
I think my worry with PlayStation,
obviously PlayStation is going towards games as service.
Like they showed like 4 games of service with no gameplay, and then I'll be honest, like I think it gets to a point, like I'm at that point personally where I don't want to play another third person open world action game that in the same vein of all of their games. Like I look at my backlog on PS5 and I'm like, I don't want to play God of War, then Horizon Forbidden West, then Ghost of Tsushima, then Death Stranding. Like they're all the same game. They're all the same game.
I pose the question then because I just said about Xbox with Starfield, Avowed, and Fable. I know they're going to be like one's going to be space, one's going to be like
they're
fantasy.
all different though.
But
like they're all more different than God of War, Horizon, and Ghost of Tsushima. From what we've seen of the games.
Yes.
So like that's what I mean. Like so it's like, and then my counter flip is that so Sony have been really focused in on these games as service games that we don't know a lot about. Xbox is still making Forza. Xbox is still letting Double Fine do what they want. Like Xbox
I
is
think
still.
Sony
So
will
that's
still
where I'm
let Naughty Dog and Santa Monica do what they've done because most of the game as service games are from the new studios like like your Havens and stuff. It feels like all the new studios have been bought to do games as service, and all your Naughty Dogs and your Insomniacs and stuff have been left to do what they were doing.
But then they go and they've shut down Pixel
which obviously is third-party action adventure games.
Cut Studio Japan, and it's like, oh god, like if they cut Media Molecule, then they don't have anyone that makes interesting games, and that's my worry. That's my real worry with play. As someone who like owns all three, I look at my PlayStation, I'm like, not really. There's not really much reason for me to turn it on right now. Like you said, like Nintendo was always going to be Nintendo. You can't argue with Mario Kart and Zelda. Like I just don't. You could put a gun to my head and I'm still going to buy the next Mario Kart game. So, but yeah, I think Craig's right. I think the Xbox. This was the coming out party show for Xbox. The next 12 months of Xbox looks great, and he's like obviously Craig's someone who almost exclusively plays on Xbox. I say it's probably 75-25 at the moment. Xbox and Switch. That probably fair for the last 12 months.
Oh, it's probably more. It's probably like more 90-20, surely.
Right, so it's like you're not if you ever flirted with getting another console, you now don't. Like, why would you?
Oh god.
Like you might not even buy another game for the next 6 months, let alone buy a game on another console. So it's like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, I think you're right. It's very good. So let's round off this, Pengy. You're number 5. I can only imagine it's going to be just video games in general.
No. So the number one highlight of the thing, and you wanted to do most anticipated games, and also the most anticipated game, the game of the showing, is obviously Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer.
Yeah, I think it was a good trailer. Like I said, it was on my list. Like I said, it is the anchor for that. Any hope of me keeping a PlayStation 5 for next year. Yeah, really a very intriguing trailer, isn't it?
Yes.
But yeah, what about it sort of elevated it above the Starfields and the Star Warses then, Pengy, for you?
The thing with the Starfield and the Star thing is, I like Final Fantasy VII Remake. It is one of the best games I've played on the PS4. I know that game is good. and I like other games Nora's made. Starfield, I've only really liked Oblivion and Morrowind that Bethesda's done, and obviously with Craig brought up with Star Wars, it's by Massive and about 800 other studios it seems. But I'm less confident I will enjoy those games than I am with Rebirth.
Yeah, that's a fair way to look at it. I think
Yeah.
it's yeah,
Like Starfield looks great, but I'm like, I've never liked any of Bethesda's games really, so I'm like, so that sort of thing. Like Avowed, and out of the two, like another RPG, and like Obsidian, I liked Outer Worlds, I like KOTOR 2, for instance, on the original Xbox. Like people say I would like New Vegas, but I haven't played it because it was a Fallout game. But like out of those two, like RPGs, even on the Xbox side, I would be more, looking forward to Avowed than Starfield because I've got more confidence in Obsidian.
See, I would agree with you with the logic, but I just think that showing from Starfield was so good. I think it's kind of like if we hadn't watched that show, I'd agree with what you're saying, but I just feel like that showcase for Starfield was so good and looked so much better than anything else that was shown. It kind of, I think it swung me around. I think it's like swung a lot of people around the fence. It's like that game like really feels like it has momentum now. Do you know what I mean? I feel like everyone going before was rightly trepidatious about it. And I feel like now that's come out. I think releasing the controller early was very smart because I think a lot of people now have that controller already, and it feels like that game's like really gaining momentum going into launch now after that showing and all the stuff they've announced.
Yeah,
it will be the biggest fall if this isn't at least very good. Like the hype levels are beyond now. I think they're beyond Cyberpunk because I think we saw more of the game than Cyberpunk. And
I was going to say
said,
that's the other thing as well. We've seen games in the past like Cyberpunk and like, oh, that's had a fantastic showing, and then obviously it came out and
Yeah, and I think Final Fantasy Rebirth is the safest of the big games shown because the gameplay looked almost the same. The menus look kind of the same. Like that and Spider-Man, like you know what you're getting. Like Spider-Man 2 will be good because it's Insomniac. We've played 2 Spider-Man games in that setting. Like it will be good. Like yeah, it'll be one of the best games played this year. If you play it this year, and Final Fantasy is the same because like you said, like I think with Xbox right now, I think it changes in the next showcase. But I think right now they don't have any, apart from probably Forza Horizon, is like the only series that I think if you said to me and Craig, Forza Horizon 6 comes out tomorrow, it's in Japan, and we don't show you a trailer, we'd still be like, wicked, well, we'll play that. And that'll be our game of the year. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's the thing. But I get it. Like, I get Starfield's hype. If Starfield hits anywhere close to what it looks like, anywhere close, then it will probably be my game of the year if I enjoy it, because it looks just everything, doesn't it? It just looks like if you're into sci-fi in any way and you're into RPGs in any way, I just think you look at it and you go, oh, it's gonna be something, isn't it? It's gonna be something just sitting there playing that for 200 hours. But yeah, but that was Non-E3 2023. Obviously, we still expect a Nintendo show at some point, and when they inevitably announce it 2 minutes after this uploads, we will do a reactions to that. Is there anyone got any more thoughts on the next 12 months of gaming? How are we all looking? Are we pretty excited?
Yeah, definitely. I think other than everything coming out in October, which is a bit shit, I think like the rest of this year seems really good, and next year is already sounding ridiculous. Like there's just like an endless cycle now. Like the amount of games that get announced at the start of the year every year now is just insane. You think that used to be the start of the year every year used to be a barren wasteland.
It used to be backlog country.
Nothing used to come out. There'd be one publisher who put one game out, and they'd be brave, and then it would fail. Whereas now, like that, you get to January, February, and it's like this is ridiculous already. Like, every year, it's crazy. It's just, I guess, there's just so many companies making games now, and there it's
yeah, and I think
so much money in it.
I think having services changes it a little bit for most of them, because I think you can just pop out bits here and there. And like I said, my only question for the next 12 months is what is Nintendo up to? Because
that's what's the showcase has got to come in it.
Because as far as I'm aware, Pengy, you'll have to correct me. The only thing we know about really is Pikmin 4 in 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, so we have Everybody 1-2 Switch.
Okay.
Pikmin 4, Splatoon 3 DLC,
And the Pokemon expansion.
Pokemon DLC,
Yeah.
and Metroid Prime 4 is to be announced as day on. So
Yeah,
if
so-
you were to, on the 23rd of June, were to go into the investors meeting, that would be what was Nintendo becoming soon.
Imagine
would be
if Metroid Prime 4 did come and that really fucked David Penguins as fantasy critic, then wouldn't it?
Mm.
That'd be the final nail in the coffin there.
No, I think
Yes.
you'd have to retire him next year, wouldn't you? That's the beating you take.
Yeah,
I think Nintendo have the most questions to answer.
because if you look at these, obviously all these showcases, the 21 in total, like obviously it's fantastic showing for Xbox, PlayStation. I know the PlayStation showcase, but you know we can debate that whole thing, but you know there's still
I
games
don't
coming
think it's a
to.
debate. I think it's awful.
You gave it a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I don't
Penguins.
mean-
What are we
I think-
debating, mate?
Yeah, I don't think it's a
I don't
debate.
get that.
But let me finish. But there's still games coming to PS4 and PS5. Like
I guess so.
Exo Primal was still coming to PS5
Yes,
and
it is.
PS4 thing, and so that's what. If you were just a Nintendo player, these 21 showcases were absolutely dreadful for Nintendo. You basically got about 6 indies and Prince of Persia coming and Sonic. That's it. It was a lot of stuff obviously now being PS5 and Series X only. It was dreadful for Nintendo, these thing. Like after Pikmin 4, I have nothing to look forward to on Nintendo. So like
They've got to have some stuff coming at the end of the year, haven't they? And if they don't, I feel like if there's nothing coming in this year, then that is like the surefire that something big hardware.
I
is
mean,
coming
I
next
think
year, surely.
what's going to happen. This is my early prediction. They will announce a showcase in the next 6 weeks. It will have.
There's a rumor. I think there's going to be one on Wednesday before the before the investor meeting.
There will be a couple of remakes of games, and then it will be literally, hey, we're announcing a new console in November or September. We're going to do a showcase in September or October, and that's when we're going to show the new console. Its code name is this. Pretty sure that's what they did with the Switch.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to do. And then it will be a case of them getting rid of as many Switches as they can, which they will do because everyone still loves it. And yeah, there's no way I don't see a world in which you get a brand new Mario or a brand new Mario Kart or anything on the console unless the console is staying in the market for another year and a bit. Because they like to launch with those type of games. They can hold it. They don't need the money. Like it will launch with Mario Kart or it will launch with Mario. Like it's. I think that's the most predictable thing. There's no way they launch it with Metroid because no one likes Metroid enough to sell consoles. So, yeah. And then PlayStation, they just need to. I think they just need to show some gameplay of some stuff. Like change my mind. Like make me excited for Marathon. Make me excited for anything really. Because they charge £70 for a game. Their services don't put their new games in day one. So I'm like, well, why? As someone who owns multiple consoles, why do I turn on? If I was just a PlayStation fan, then of course you can play Jedi, and Hogwarts, and Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like these showcase, there is still, if you haven't got an Xbox and you've got a PlayStation, it's still straight. But like the Switch is sort of how you're talking the PlayStation. How like because like last year and the year before, I've gone, oh, it's the year of Switch because there's been a Switch game like every month, and even this year, like Bayonetta Origins, Fire Emblem Engage, and obviously Zelda, which I didn't like, but it's obviously the best game sequel ever, and now it's like Pikmin 4, and then it's like nothing. So once I played Pikmin 4, it's like, when am I turning my Switch on apart from backlog, which I have a pretty big backlog on my Switch, but at least like PlayStation and go, well, I'm going to turn it on for Spider-Man. I haven't got anything I can see to turn my Switch on for. They're not good. So hopefully we get a showcase or a direct or something this week or soon.
Yeah, I think that's just got to be the case, isn't it? And I think for Craig, it's a case of how long until he sells the Switch, and just gets that Xbox tattoo somewhere on his body. I think.
I'm waiting for Craig.
Get the black Series S to go next to my Series X.
I'm waiting for Craig to be day one with us for Switch 2 of Mario Kart 9, and we're playing tons online.
In my mind, the only hardware that isn't specifically a new Xbox Series X that Craig Warren buys is if there is a ROG Ally that isn't £700, like that type of like an Xbox made £350 to £400 Series S with a screen.
A native Game Pass handheld.
Well, that's what the ROG Ally is, but it's
Just give it
£700.
to me.
Like it's £700. Like if it was, it's tough because you're not going to spend any money on games. Like that's that's the thing with Xbox. That's really it, because I would look at it like if I could sell everything now and start again, I would get a Series X or a Series S, and then I would probably get a cheap ass Switch for Mario Kart, and then it would be like, well, I like handhelds. So it's like with the ROG Ally, if I wasn't going to buy anything for it, and I was just going to play Game Pass, like it's like 150, £200 too expensive. I think that's really the problem. Like if it was 499, I think we'd have a conversation. I think you'd be like,
Yeah,
oh,
700
maybe.
yeah,
700 nowadays is for £700, Craig, you could buy a brand new PC, which is better than it, and play your PC Game Pass downstairs on a PC.
But as we learned from the PC gaming show, PC gaming, am I right?
It's the worst.
Yeah.
If I could install Windows on Steam Deck tomorrow and it would work perfectly, I would do it, and then I would just play Game Pass games in bed. I would just play Psychonauts 2 in bed. But anyway, that was our little roundup of gaming and all that kind of shenanigans. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, please comment on what you think was your game of the shows so far. Are you all excited for Starfield? Because we're gonna lose our minds here on Pod of War for that. But yes, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye.